morning, friends. It's Mrs. McKinnon. I'm going to read for you today The Great Fuzz Frenzy, written by Janet and Susan Stevens. I read this a couple years ago with a second grade class I was working in, and I just thought it was kind of a fun story, and I thought you might enjoy it too. This is a big tennis ball. I'm sure a lot of you already guessed that. And these are little prairie dogs. Prairie dog, we don't have them around here. They're sort of like woodchucks or groundhogs, which we do have around here. But these guys are out in the Midwest. So anybody who's ever been out in Texas or things like that, places like that, might have seen them. So along comes this big, friendly, funny dog. And guess what he does with his tennis ball? Oops. Drops it in the prairie dog hole. Down it went. Boink. Bonk. Oops. Watch out below. Rumble. Rumble. Help. Help. Run for your life. Thump. Thump. Plunk. Ends up at the bottom of their tunnel. Prairie dogs, like groundhogs, live under the earth, and they make all these little tunnels that they live in. And this ball just went all the way down through, and there it sits. They probably have never seen a tennis ball before. Slowly, they crept out, inch by inch, dog by dog. What is it? A thing. A good thing or a bad thing? A round thing? A strange thing? A scary thing? What should we do? Don't touch it. Shh. Is it alive? Here they are. They're all really kind of frightened. They don't know what to think. Stand back, boomed a voice. You act like gutless groundhogs, afraid of your own shadow. Oh no, it's Big Bark. Big Mouth is more like it. He's the meanest dog around. I thought he left town. Well, I'm back, growled Big Bark. So out of my way and let me have a look. So Big Bark is this guy here with the kind of fancy little hat on. It looks like it might even be like a wrapper or a bottle cap or something. He's yelling at everybody to get out of his way. He wants to take a look at this thing. But before anyone could move, little Pipsqueak raced across past Big Bark, reached out and poked the round thing. No, the crowd yelled. It's Fuzzy, said Pip. Ooh, the crowd gasped. There's Pipsqueak. Ran over and touched the yellow tennis ball. A tiny piece of fuzz was caught in Pip's claw. She looked at it, turned it, sniffed it, and then she put it on her head. Look at me. Ah, the crowd sighed. Quit hamming it up, you half-pint hamster, snarled Big Bark. I'm in charge. So there's little Pipsqueak. She's got it on her head. And here's Big Bark over here, being kind of grumpy. But those prairie dogs didn't listen. They had to have Fuzz. I like it. Me too. I want some. Do you? Oh, yes, so do I. So do we. So do they. Big Bark, move over. Get out of our way. And they charged past him, and they all started to grab at the fuzz. Ooh, all having fun with that. Something different. The prairie dogs pulled it, puffed it, stretched it, and fluffed it. They tugged it and they twirled it. They spiked it and they swirled it. They fuzz their ears, their head, their noses. They fuzz their feet, their tails, and their toeses. Whoa, look at that. Big Bark was beside himself. Listen to me, you ridiculous rodents. Stop this fuzzy foolishness. Aw, they're just having fun. In their feet, in their ears. But those prairie dogs didn't listen. They were busy being hot dogs and silly dogs, corny dogs and frilly dogs, top dogs, funny dogs, super dogs, and bunny dogs. Quite a lot of fun things they're doing with all their fuzz. You're all nuts, you squirrely fuzz freaks, yelled Big Bark, storming off. He's a party pooper. Just doesn't want anything to do with it. News of the fuzz spread from hole to hole, burrow to burrow, town to town. And guess what? Soon prairie dogs from everywhere were coming to see that fuzz. They came, they saw, and they picked. Everybody's hearing the story about the fuzz, and here they all come. They're all coming down. Get into the party. They're all grabbing fuzz. They twisted it, braided it, danced and paraded it. It was a fuzz frenzy, a fuzz fiesta, a fuzz fandangle. The whole prairie was a buzz about fuzz. Probably the most exciting thing that had happened in that prairie in a long time. They picked and pruned and pulled and pinched. They pinched and pulled and pruned and picked. That big round thing was fuzzless, naked as a plucked chicken. Look at it. The fuzz ran out. There was no fuzz left. So if you wondered what a tennis ball looks like without all its yellow fuzz, there it is. Some prairie dogs got a lot of fuzz. Some got a little. Some got no fuzz at all. And they were mad. Give me that fuzz. Why? Because it's my fuzz. Well, it was. Get that fuzz. Get that fuzz. And they're all starting to fight over the fuzz. Oh. Pulling and grabbing and nabbing and poking. Jabbing. It was war. War between the fuzzes and the fuzz knots. Their peaceful town was a battleground. It was a fuzz fight. A fuzz feud, a fuzz fiasco. Oh my goodness. I started this, moaned little Pipsqueak. I have to do something. Everyone, stop fighting. Oh, poor little Pipsqueak. Turned into a big, instead of fun, it turned into a big fight. But those prairie dogs didn't listen. And the battle raged on. Friend against friend, cousin against cousin, dog against dog, until no one was left standing. They were all pooped, fuzzled out, fast asleep. And all sound asleep from fighting with each other all afternoon. And they are all sleeping in their fuzz. Hours later, the prairie dogs began to stir. Uh-oh, where's the fuzz? I don't know. Where did it go? Someone has stolen our fuzz, cried Pipsqueak. Where is it? It's all gone. No fuzz anywhere. Who did it? He did it. She did it. You did it. They all started to blame each other. Anybody have a guess who did it? Let's see if you're right. I did it, barked a voice from above. I stole the fuzz. And who is that? It's Big Bark. Took all the fuzz. The prairie dogs froze. Then they raced up and up the long tunnel. There stood Big Bark, covered with fuzz from head to tail. I'm king of the fuzz, he snarled. Do you hear me? I'm king of the... Swoop. The sky went black. Pitch black. What happened? Where's Big Bark? Look, there he was, high above their heads, dangling from the talons of an eagle. Uh-oh. No more Big Bark, the crowd cheered. Yay! Don't yay! He's one of us, yelled Pip. We have to save him. How would you like to be at Eagle's lunch? No, the crowd yelled. No. And there he is, Big Bark. He's being carried away by the eagle. I'm going to put a picture of that. There's the eagle. And these are his talons, his like paws. And poor Big Bark's caught. Big Bark, wiggle free, the prairie dog shouted. Shake loose. Hurry, we'll catch you. Big Bark twisted and turned and wormed and squirmed. At last he was free of the fuzz. Yay! The crowd cheered. There he is. He's getting out of the fuzz so he can get free. Big Bark fell faster and faster. No! The prairie dogs scattered. Get back here, yelled Pip. Quick, make a circle. Hold out your paws. They ran left and then they ran right. So they're going to make a circle to try to catch him when he falls. Plop. So he landed right on top of them all, which helped because then that way he didn't really hurt himself. Landed on a soft bed of prairie dogs. You saved me, cried Big Bark. I stole your fuzz and now it's gone forever. Good, said Pipsqueak. Fuzz is trouble, right? Yay, the crowd cheered. Friend hugged friend, cousin hugged cousin, dog hugged dog. We don't need Fuzz, said Pip, but with Eagle, we do need a watchdog. So all the fuzz is gone, but they think they do need a watchdog with a big bark. Big Bark rose up on his hind legs. Eagle's back. Bark, bark. This is not a test. All dogs below. So Big Bark is now going to be in charge of saving all the little prairie dogs when he's going to be their watchdog. And when the eagle comes, down, down, down they go. The prairie dogs raced down, down, down the long tunnel. There they go. Phew! We made it. That was close. 3 cheers for Big Bark, the best watchdog ever. Yip, yip, yay! Yip, yip, yay! Yip, yip, yay! Just doing my job, Big Bark smiled. Are we ever getting tangled up with Fuzz again? Cried Pipsqueak. No, the crowd yelled. No more Fuzz. And from that day forward, the prairie dogs lived happily and fuzzlessly ever after. And there's Big Bark with Pipsqueak. They've all become friends again. They're going to live happily ever after without the fuzz. Or will they? Until it happens again. So what do you think? That dog's going to drop that new ball down there. Different color, different fuzz. But I think they learned their lesson. I don't think that they'll go crazy about it this time. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's just kind of a funny little story. Have a good day, and I will see you soon.